Hey y'all, my name's Ren, and I've been globetrotting on my own for the better part of 4 years now, and I've learned a couple things. So I thought I would share some tips on how to travel on a budget based on my personal experience. This video is for those of you who want to start seeing more places, want to start traveling a little bit more, but you don't have thousands of dollars in your bank account that you're ready to blow. Or if you're worried about a little bit of student debt, let's talk about how to see a lot but spend a little. Let's get started. Number 1, flights. Everybody knows that flights can be super expensive, and half the time, that's the reason you don't go to the place you want to go in the first place, because the flight together is $1 million. Not really, obviously. I'm exaggerating. However, flights can be expensive, so what I do when I shop for flights is I use skyscanner.com and Google Flights. I try to see if I can get the best deals from those places. Hot tip, do not ever book through a third party. Trust me on this one, I've learned the hard way. Let's say you have to cancel or change around your trip, or something, you can say like, goodbye to your money because you ain't seeing it again. Another hot tip, sign yourself up for Scott's cheap flights. Basically, you put in your departure city, mine is usually Austin, Texas, and he sends you, Scott himself, sends you an email of all the mistake fares or the low fares that are coming out of that city, and sometimes it's like 50% off to Portugal, and if you can hop on that, then do. Another thing to think about is how much money you're spending at home, how much money you're putting on your credit card. If you can, sign yourself up for one of those credit cards that allows you to rack up points and then use those points to fly away. Some airlines will let you buy flights with points. So if you can do that, that is a total money saver. Number 2, let's talk about accommodation. Being smart about how you shop for where you're going to sleep can make a big impact on your wallet. So before I get anywhere, I usually check hostelworld.com, booking.com, or I check the website directly. Sometimes it'll be like, hey, free breakfast if you book directly through us, but don't get too excited about the breakfast because sometimes it's like an old piece of toast and it's like, not worth it. Heck, I've even gotten like a free airport transfer booking directly through a hostel website instead of going through booking.com or hostelworld.com. Yeah, I know, hostels do that crazy. Another option is couchsurfing.com. A lot of times, world travelers across the globe will open up their homes and let you sleep on their couch or even an extra bedroom that they have for free. And it's great because this way you can hang out with a local, see the city or town or place that you're in through the locals' eyes. They usually give you like the best tips on where to eat, where to go, and sometimes even take you themselves to their favorite restaurant so that you can get the real local experience. It's pretty great. This one can get a little bit more complicated, especially for solo female travelers, but that just means that you have to be more careful and more choosy on where you decide to stay. I actually tried this in London, and now the person whose couch I slept on is one of my best friends. Number 3, work exchange. Many travelers, including myself, use work exchange programs like workaway.org, or there's HelpX or Woofing. This means you work for a certain amount of hours a week and you get to stay there and eat there for free. So you're not making any money, but you're not spending any money. This is a great way to learn a new skill. I've worked on multiple farms, at a bed and breakfast. I even worked on a boat. The world is your oyster. You can even paint a mural at a hostel and they'll let you stay there for free. In my opinion, this is one of the best ways to travel long term and to learn about the history and culture of a country, because usually you're living with a family and they're local, and on your days off you can go explore the nearby towns or villages or cities or whatever you want to do. Or you can just sleep on your days off, who cares? Alright, number 4, let's talk about food, my favorite subject. Guys, before you book your accommodation, make sure they have some sort of makeshift kitchen, that the hostel has some sort of kitchen. I'm not just talking a microwave, I'm talking like a stove with pots and pans. Look through the reviews, type in kitchen, and they will tell you, oh, this kitchen sucks, it doesn't have anything, or there's a great kitchen. Because guys, the more you cook inside, the less you spend outside. Now, aside from cooking inside the hostel, you can also be selective and smart about where you go to eat. Now, you're hungry, you're looking for somewhere to eat, do not go to the main strip. That's usually where all the other tourists go, where they jack up the price, and the food is not always as great as it could be if you go to one of the side streets, walk where the locals are walking, follow people. No, that's unsafe. No, don't do that. But I'm saying is don't go to touristy restaurants. They're more expensive. They don't taste that great. Also, another tip, guys, before you leave your hostel, go to the front desk guy or girl and go, where do you eat? I'm hungry. Because if they work there, they probably live there. And if they live there, they're not going to all the expensive restaurants that the tourists go to. They're going to the good ones, the cheap ones. So they usually have some good places to go eat, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're completely clueless and not helpful whatsoever. Good luck, guys. Number 5, guys, do yourself a favor and educate yourself as much as possible on the place that you're going before you get there. How do I do that, you ask? Well, let me tell you. The way you do that is just hitting up a bunch of travel blogs, travel vlogs. For example, what to wear in India. At the end, I put blog, and then I hit enter, and it's like, ding! What to pack for a trip through Colombia, blog. Enter. Ding. Learn as much as you can about what they wear, what they eat, how they get places, how they talk to people, what they don't eat, what they don't wear, what they do in their spare time, what their mother's name is. Wait. That way, when you get there, you're not like, oh crap, why did I bring heels? A huge travel blog that I follow, and it's good for budget traveling, is Nomadic Matt. Another one for female solo travel is Be My Travel Muse. This could potentially save you a lot of money because you'll find tips like, for example, in Bali, if I hadn't done my research, I wouldn't know that Ubers and taxis are more expensive than the apps like Gojek or Grab, where if you're willing, you could literally hop on the back of someone's motorcycle in order to get from point A to point B. It's a lot more fun and a lot more exciting, probably a lot more dangerous, but it's part of the experience. You're not going to know that until you get there and a taxi's like yelling at you to get in their car and you're like, okay, I'm under pressure. And then you get in there and end up spending way more money than you need to when you could just be using a Gojek. All right, y'all, this one's a big one. So listen up. Number 6, are we on 6? I don't know. It's number 6. Be selective on what size bag you bring on your trip. I cannot stress this enough. I have totally screwed myself with this so many times. I always bring a full-size bag and then I have to pay to check that bag onto the plane and I'm like, why did I do this to myself again? So what you want to do is do your research on the average dimensions for a carry-on on the airlines that you'll be taking in whatever part of the world you go. Take an average and then buy a backpack to fit those dimensions. Trust me on this one, it's going to save you heaps of money. So let's say you're going to Europe and you want to fly on Ryanair or EasyJet or Vueling or whatever. Like usually you can find flights for like $25 in Europe from country to country, but where they will screw you is the check-in bag fee. And don't worry too much about the weight of your carry-on. I mean, I don't think I've ever had mine weigh, but also make sure that your backpack doesn't look like you're trying to move 7 bottles of wine that you bought in Italy to Thailand, because you're gonna notice. Number 7. Most of the time, people assume that flying is the most efficient way to get from point A to point B. But sometimes people forget that you have to factor in how long it takes and how much it's going to cost you to get from where you're staying to the airport and then from the airport to where you're staying in your next destination. So sometimes taking a bus or a train or a rideshare is actually either the same price or cheaper, and it takes about the same amount of time. Obviously, this is dependent on where you're going. It's going to be a bit different if you're going from Vietnam to Australia, obviously. Something to keep in mind is a bus or a train or a rideshare might feel like more travel time because you're sitting in the same seat for like 8 hours straight. But if you factor in all the extras with the flight and how much money you're saving, it might make a lot more sense to take one of those on the ground. And also, it's better for the environment. The website that I use to find the best mode of transport for wherever I'm going is omio.com. And when I say rideshare, for example, there was an app that I used when I was in Italy. I think they also use it in Spain, if I'm not mistaken. It's called BlaBlaCar, or it used to be called that back in my day when I went traveling. Basically, someone who is already going from Florence to Rome and already has a car will sell a seat in their car to someone like me looking for cheaper travel and also faster travel time, because taking a bus or a train might take longer to get to Rome because of all the stops. This way is not also faster, but you get to talk to a local and socialize, and also maybe get to meet other travelers who are using the same app and in the same car as you. Number 8. Why do I have a hard time with this? This is probably going to make more sense for the girls, but guys, same concept, same but different. Have an item that you can double or triple or quadruple as another item. I have used this specific throw thing as a festive scarf. As like an actual scarf, because planes and buses get really cold, as a sarong, as a sheet, because sometimes hostels will charge you for sheets, which is stupid. Also as a towel, because almost always hostels will charge you for towels. It's like $5 for a towel, and if you bring one of these, not only do you, not only do you look stylish, you can also dry yourself. You can use it as a beach throw. You can also use it as a headscarf if you're going to somewhere religious. Basically anything. Also, hot tip, wait to buy one of these until you get there. Here in the States, this would probably cost me about $20. I got it for $4.50 in Brazil. Number 9. I'm not even going to try it with my fingers this time because you know I'm struggling. Guys, I can't stress this one enough. This one's a big one. Travel insurance. Lots of backpackers and lots of travelers leave their home country without covering themselves. Guys, just imagine yourself having the time of your life, skiing down the Swiss Alps, and then you fall, you eat shit, and you break your arm. Or you're walking through Rio and someone snatches your phone right out your hand. Not only is your broken arm or your lack of a phone going to put a damper on your trip, so are your bills. So get travel insurance. I personally use World Nomads. Most travel bloggers will recommend World Nomads because they're pretty good. They cover most stuff. They're kind of pricey, but it's worth it to spend the money on the travel insurance. Trust me. And finally, number 10. Now, this one's going to sound a little bit more complicated, but if you're able to do it, totally worth it. Find a way to work in the travel industry. And now I know you're thinking, okay, how the heck do I do that? This took me ages to figure out. I've been traveling for 4 years, and I was always trying to find a way to monetize my travel, or at least get a deal here and there. Dang. So what I did is I got certified as a travel agent. What this means is now I get access to all of these suppliers and all these like exclusive deals that the majority of people don't even realize exist. And I didn't even know this was a thing before I started. Now I don't necessarily have to worry about 1 through 9 because budget travel has been made so much more easy having a travel agent certificate. And it literally took me like 3 hours. It was like super simple. I was almost surprised. So if this piques your interest at all, or if it sounds possible to you because you want to travel like a travel agent and get certified, click the button below. I'll just make a brand new video and I'll give you all the details, how long it took. Well, I just told you how long it took. How much it cost me, everything you need to know, because yeah, like I said, it's been a major game changer for me. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope these 10 budget travel tips were super helpful to you, and they make you realize that travel actually can be pretty affordable. Keep an eye out for my next video where I'm going to go through 5 things that you absolutely must have on any backpacking trip. See you next time. Jesus. Okay. Okay. Stay. Nice. Or